Second time lucky, after stripping off, I managed to kill him. Okay, welcome back to Dark Souls. So I had a few problems with my last video and the continuation of said video with sound and recording and all that sort of stuff. So I didn't think it would make much sense to continue with that. So I thought I would make a new character, same as before, and go through the beginning scenes again. But this time I am going to show you how to get the Drake sword. So stick around for that. And yeah, I'm just going to do the same sort of thing, just go through it. I'll skip the dialogue and the cutscenes unless there's something particularly interesting. But if you do want to see all the cutscenes and NPC dialogue, please let me know in the comments, because I'm quite happy to do that. So I'm just going to get myself immersed in the game, try and get through it without dying too many times. I've got my very own Estus flask here, so grab yourself one, relax and enjoy watching me enter the world of Dark Souls. Cheers. Right, now that's out of the way, let's start doing some stuff. So my starting item, I picked the master key. I don't particularly know what I'm supposed to do with it, but what I do know is it will save me 1,000 souls buying the residence key. So I mean, that's good enough for me at the moment. But because I think if you're a more experienced player and you pick the master key, you kind of know the shortcuts, you know the best routes to go, and it's beneficial in that respect. I'm not that experienced, so I don't want to get myself into any trouble, so I'm just going to follow the same sort of route that I was going to take and go from there really. We'll see what happens. And I've tried to record this a couple of times and it was terrible. I got killed by some regular hollows, the Taurus demon just smashed me, and I don't think I was in the right frame of mind to really record, you know. So now I should be. So let's see what happens. So yeah, like I said in my previous video, this isn't going to be 100% walkthrough or a fast one. I'm just going to take my time, you know, absorb the environment and see if I can play through the complete game. That's the plan anyway, because I really do want to. The furthest I've got in the past is just after the Gaping Dragon in Blighttown, so it'd be good to get further than that. I'm sure I will. That's the plan. And plan B is to just, you know, fluke my way through it really. So here we've got this guy who's quite helpful. He gives us an Estus flask and a key.
Now I must bid farewell.
And I think it's a good reflection on real life that there are some people that are willing to help you, whereas most people are quite indifferent about you, just like in Dark Souls. If you succeed or fail, it doesn't seem to really bother anyone. But it bothers me, so that's the main thing. Right, let's go and kill some stuff. Now it's good to never underestimate even the most simple opponent, because they have the potential to ruin your day, which has happened to me many times. So I think the key is just take your time, take your shots when it's right. And yeah, eventually you get there. And the thing is with this game, like, it is frustrating, I'm not going to lie, but the way to deal with that is if you think in your mind every time you die you've learned something, which means when you go back you know not to fall into that trap or be careful of that particular attack, or you know, that kind of thing. So as long as you keep that in mind, then this game won't be as frustrating. And the thing is as well with this, it's supposed to be like this, you know, it's not like a lot of games where, you know, you're basically the superhero of the story that can pretty much beat anything, and, you know, when you die it doesn't mean anything, whereas in this it does. So anyway, I need to stop talking for a second because I'm not doing very well. I think I'm overthinking, definitely. Right. No, too early. Right, finally we've done it. And I think that's the thing as well, it's like when you're trying to talk and fight at the same time, it's really difficult. So I have utmost respect for people that do this all the time. You know, because I've seen people fight really difficult bosses in this and they're still chatting away, whereas me, I'm like, no, I need to concentrate here. So we go left here, there's a little soul item. Grab that. Now I'm playing this with a mouse and keyboard, and I know most people say it's much easier using a controller, which I'm sure is probably true, but I haven't used a controller for probably 15 years, so I can't imagine it will benefit me in any way. It'll be almost relearning how to use it, you know. So I'll stick with a PC, I think. Now, he says a lot of stuff, and it is quite important. I mean, he mentions that there's 2 bells that you need to ring to further the undead goal, which whatever that might be. So I'm gonna reverse my hollowing. I don't like looking like a zombie. And also, if you have humanity in the top left, it's supposed to make your discovery rate a bit higher. I'm not sure how much difference that makes, but I mean, it's there for a reason, right? Okay, so I'm just going to collect these items. There's some bombs here and a couple of bits and bobs. Okay, we have a little chat with this rather rotund priest type. Now, if you want to learn miracles, then this guy sells them. You know, if you're that way inclined, if you're doing a faith build or whatever. I mean, I'm not really going to do anything out of the ordinary on here, but you never know. In the future, I might mix it up a bit once I get a bit more confident in the game. But we're going to do what this chap says, and he looks pretty happy, so you know, we must be doing something right.
Now let me share my miracles. Only.
Okay, so I'm not gonna do that.
The effective.
Yeah, so it's there if you need it. Because to be fair, whenever I play D&D quite a bit, and I normally choose fighter types or cleric types. So I think I'd like to play through this as a fighter, like I am as the warrior. And then once I kind of know what I'm doing, maybe run it through as a cleric. Well, I think they're called clerics in this. I mean, that's what I call them anyway, because you know, it's been ingrained in my brain that a warrior priest is a cleric. and then yeah, priests in my mind of World of Warcraft, which I did play for a long time, but I've kind of gone away from that now. Because it used to be very challenging, very tough game, and it's sort of become a little bit more focused on just sort of getting to the end game, and you know, but there's been a new expansion come out, so that might be different. But at the moment I'm enjoying Dark Souls a lot, and my aim is to play through number 1, the second one as well, which I've played a little bit of, obviously the third one, and I want to play Elden Ring as well if my PC can handle it. So I know it's quite intensive. I mean, I've got a funny feeling I might be able to play it, but maybe not stream it or record it. I don't know. I'll have to try it out once I get to that point. But I'm not going to rush ahead. I'm going to, yeah, play through each experience and record it. So it's even more difficult. Okay, I'm aware there's a ring down there on the bridge, but I'm going to get that maybe later on. I'm not too concerned because it's not something I've used before. I mean, that could be a mistake, but it's like a one-use thing, and when you equip it, if you die you don't lose your souls, but then the ring breaks, so you can't use it again. Whereas I think early in the game like this, it's not really you never really gain that many souls to warrant it. But I imagine maybe later on in the game it might become quite useful, especially if you find yourself in a really tough area. So yeah, I'm just going to go through and collect what I can. Not forgetting this little bit here. Yeah, so I plan to sort of record for about maybe half an hour videos, because the last one I did was an hour. And it just literally took an age to render, and yeah, and I'm not that patient. Which is why I think this game is good for impatient people. I know it sounds completely backwards, but if you are an impatient person, you need to learn how to deal with that to be able to get through this game, because you literally can't rush it. So, you know, maybe there's some kind of psychology involved that the developers are trying to, you know, fix people's impatience. Especially in today's world with like instant sort of things, you know. People want instant gratification, and this game's definitely not aimed to that. Which is a good thing, you know, in my opinion. There's plenty of other games out there that you can kind of just spam through and, you know, be the superhero. Yeah, so this isn't much different to my last video, so I appreciate you watching it if you have seen that one. But hopefully this one will run a bit smoother, and you know, maybe the sound's a bit better, and you know, there's a few issues I had before. Oh, these bloody archers. Right, I'm going to roll past this guy. Take this bloke out. And now back to this guy. Oh, I tried to get the backstab to be fancy there, but it didn't work. Right, now I'm going to go to the merchant, because because I need to buy a bow so we can get the Drake sword. And I don't have to buy the residence key, I don't think. We'll find out. Because I have the master key, I should be able to go in there. So I can get the gold pine resin. If you didn't know about that.
Well now, I try.
Right, so I'm going to buy a bow. One of them. And we're going to buy 50 arrows. Because one, I'm not a very good shot. And two, it takes quite a few to get the Drake sword, which we'll see at some point. Maybe in the next video. I don't want to drag it out.
Thank you kindly.
Like I said before. I haven't been in here yet. There's a wooden shield there. I don't think it's as good as the one I've got. So I'm just going to keep what I'm holding at the moment. I quite like the beaten up look on my shield. Okay, I'm not really going to level up. I just want to put a couple of points in strength so that when we do get the Drake sword, I can actually wield it in one hand. Because unless you level up a bit, you won't be able to. You'd have to hold it two-handed, which is fine if you're comfortable with rolling and dodging, and whereas I'm not particularly confident in that respect. As you can see, my combat abilities aren't particularly great. We did get a Titanite shard there, which is very handy for later when we upgrade our weapon. I think there's some black fire bombs in here, maybe, if I remember rightly. Yeah, they're always quite useful. Right, you've got to watch out for the firebomb bloke here, because he's a pain. Oh man. I'm so focused on the firebomb bloke. Never mind. The thing is, in this stage of the game as well, you don't lose too many souls. And the good thing about this, you always get the opportunity to try again. And try again we must do, otherwise we'll never ever finish this game. Oh, this is disastrous. Okay, good. Right, so I'm going to go up here and kill this crossbowman, because he will cause real problems in a minute if we don't. Now this is when I was recording last. These guys really done me in. Because I was rushing, I think. I kind of just ran straight into them, so... And you can't run into anyone in this. Now I know there's a Black Knight down there, but I'm not going to tackle him because he is very tough. And now I've seen people on YouTube parry him and backstab him and all that sort of stuff, but for me it just causes more pain than's necessary. Okay, so we've got the gold pine resin, which is very useful because it gives our weapon quite a high damage output. And up here there's a crystal lizard which drops, I think he drops a large titanite and a, is it shimmering titanite? Which I don't really know what it does, but I think later on it will probably be useful. Twinkling titanite, so I didn't get the large titanite this time. Okay, now through this fog wall, now you'd be tempted to go straight ahead, but up here there's two snipers that are just waiting to shoot you with crossbows, and you know how much I love crossbowmen in this game. I don't, is the answer. Okay, so now hopefully I can defeat this enemy, and I'm going to equip the gold pine resin. Put that on my weapon, and hopefully we can take this guy out. So I'm just going to take my time. Now he can hit you on these ladders if he's too close, so you have to be quite careful. So now I'm not even going to swing for him, I'm just going to run. Okay, so if you run back this way, turn round, and yeah, it's tough. When he hits you, it is you feeling it. So I think it's going to hit me, yeah. So I really need to drink out of my flask. I'll have a double draft. And this time it doesn't help when you lock on. Right, see if we can get past him. No. Yeah, I'm having some difficulty here. I think it's because I'm trying to talk. Yeah. He's not a hard boss. I'm going to come back and I'm not going to talk. Right, I'm not going to give these any kind of fun at all. Oh no. There we go. Him, past him. Now I think the fog wall should still be there because we didn't beat him, and that means them lot can't follow us. Right, first thing I'm going to do is get rid of this and this so I can run a bit faster. In fact, I'm going to lose the lot. Just the gloves. Perfect. Alright, let's try this again. Okay, I'm thinking naked is the way forward. Okay, one more plunge should do it. If I can time my roll properly. Oh, I was lucky there, I'm not gonna lie. And we're done him. Good. Second time lucky, after stripping off, I managed to kill him. So now I could continue on, but I think the video is long enough, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to homeward bone back to the bonfire, and then in the next episode I will continue. So it'll be coming back to where we are now. I'll save you having to watch that, and then we'll continue to the next area where we will get the Drake sword. So, thanks for watching, and yeah, hope to see you next time, and hope you enjoyed the video. So, cheers.